Hi everybody. Welcome to Introduction to Sociology, SOCI 1010. This is section W02. I'm your instructor, Gary Heidinger. As soon as you possibly can, access the course on Momentum D2L and make a copy of the course syllabus. I encourage you to read it from cover to cover. Now, I realize it's lengthy, but I included a lot of information within the syllabus that I hope will prove to be useful. In particular, I want you to pay attention to some information you will find on the fourth page. It highlights the findings of research with respect to online distant learning type classes. These particular characteristics that you will note here are keys for doing well in a course like this. Web classes are becoming more and more common at all levels of higher education. They fill a decided need, but at the same time, they're different from face-to-face classes. And if you want to do well in this course or any other online courses that you decide to take during your undergraduate career, pay particular attention again to these 5 points. They're essential, absolutely essential. Remember, you're going to be the person who's supplying a lot of the focus and the orientation to the course itself. But this being the first essential experience you're having with the class, I suspect what interests you the most is what always interested me the most the first day in a face-to-face class. Exactly what am I going to have to do in this particular course? Particularly, what am I going to have to do really, really well in the class? So you will find on page 5 of the course syllabus some basic information having to do with grading and evaluation. And down near the bottom of the page, there's some information about assignments and evaluation. Now, this goes over several pages. And it's very important that you take the time to read through this very, very carefully. Be aware of the fact that there are 3 exams that you will be expected to complete. Now, I want to alert you to this right now at this point in time. You will need to complete your exams at one of 3 testing centers specified in the syllabus: the Roane County Campus Testing Center, the Oak Ridge Branch Campus Testing Center, or the Cumberland County Testing Center. Now, I realize this is an online class. I even mentioned that in the syllabus as such. And many of you may be expecting to take all of your evaluation activities online. I'm not the only person at Roane State, and for that matter, I'm not the only instructor around the United States that requires his or her students to complete exams at testing centers. This has been a long established practice. Numerous instructors at Roane State require this as well. And I realize that's an inconvenience, but you'll only have to make 3 trips during the course of the semester itself. Now, there's information on the 6th page with respect to what's going to be included on each of the 3 course exams. Also, there's information about when you will be expected to complete the first exam, the second exam, and the third exam. There are dates as to when you can begin, like with respect to the first exam, January the 25th, and you have until February the 27th to complete that first exam. So there's a number of weeks, as many as 4 or 5 weeks, during which you can pick a time that's most appropriate based upon the testing center schedule, specifically the testing center that you plan to use. And I've given you information in the syllabus how you can access at the Roane State webpage. Again, information about testing center dates of operation as such. Now, included in the syllabus also, in addition to the 3 course exams, is some information about what I call an action learning project. It's highlighted on page 7 of the syllabus. And it goes on over to the next page, page 8. It's really going to involve you sociologically analyzing the content of a film. I have a list of films starting at the bottom of page 7 and continuing on over to page 8. You can select any of these films. And again, if you look at that entire list and you kind of hold your nose and say, well, none of those really are appealing to me, let me know a film that you might have in mind. 99.9% of the time, I'm going to approve it. And I've given you some information, specifically again, over on page 7, having to do with exactly what I am looking for. It's under this heading of Project Guidelines. If at any time during the course of the semester you have questions related to the project, please let me know. I'll be more than happy to assist you in any way that I possibly can. Because I really want this not to be something that's a have-to activity, but something that will prove to be a true learning experience, if you will. Now, you will note as you read through the syllabus, you have some extra credit opportunities. I'm going to include 3 extra credit multiple choice questions worth 1 point each on all 3 of the course exams. You can also complete a second project, the second film analysis, and get up to 8 points of additional extra credit. So you have some extra credit opportunities that I hope that you will take advantage of. But the key is to get oriented and focused now. It's very easy, specifically, in particular, with an online course, to put things off until the last minute. Make sure you avoid doing that. If there has been a recurrent problem since I've been directing an online course, it's been that. Students waiting until the very last moment, the very last day to take an exam. And invariably, if you do that, something crops up out of the blue and bam, there you are holding the bag. So plan accordingly. I'll encourage you again to go back in the syllabus to those particular elements that ensure success in courses such as this. Being goal-oriented, having, again, an effective reading level. To do well in this class, you need to read actively. Now, I know all of you know how to read, but reading actively, you're reading for retention. I'd encourage you, with respect to chapter assignments, start with the chapter summary first, so you have some idea of what to expect. Then read carefully. Do underlining, highlighting. Make comments out in the margins. That illustrates more often than not, if you're doing this, you're really focusing on what you are reading. Get started as quickly as possible. Again, don't put this off until the last moment. And you've got to set up some kind of a routine. I encourage you strongly to do that. Set aside a time that you're going to devote to this course or any other online courses that you might be taking this semester. It's important to do that, to set aside specific time. And above all, please, if you'll notice that last point there, let me know if you have questions about anything. I've given you information on the syllabus about how you can contact me. You can contact me through Momentum, through my RadarNet address as well. Feel free to phone me during my office hours. My job isn't to make your life miserable. I'll bet, like me, that you've got several people in your life that truly enjoy giving you grief, and you don't have to pay for the privilege. You didn't put a lot of money and effort into this activity just for me to give you grief. My job is to assist you. So please let me know if you have any concerns or problems. The key again for doing well in this particular course, get started now. Don't put things off until the last minute. That's exams as well as your project. Don't just throw something together with respect to that project and expect to get full credit. Again, once you get into reading about what's involved, part of it is I want you to have an opportunity to write. Writing is a key element now more so than ever in almost all jobs. But also I want this project to be an opportunity for you to apply what you've learned in the course. Sociology in many respects should be the easiest course you will take during your experience as an undergraduate because it's about what you encounter every day. But you're being asked to look at it from a different angle, a different perspective, rather than focusing on the individuals involved and their characteristics. You got to look at the big social picture. How are you being shaped by powerful social forces that maybe you don't even recognize at this particular point in time? But I'm totally convinced that a course in sociology will benefit you both in direct and indirect ways. After all, once you graduate from college, maybe you will never again complete a complex algebraic equation. Maybe you will never again debate the contents of a poem written by, for example, Emily Dickinson. Maybe again you'll never analyze major developments that led to some huge historical occurrence like a world war. Maybe you will never again work to classify living creatures into various biological classificatory arrangements or systems. But I can tell you right now, there is something you will be doing the rest of your life, and that's interacting with people. That's what sociology is all about. It's the study of how you and I are influenced and shaped by our interaction with others, and in turn, how we shape and influence others through our interaction. So welcome aboard. I hope this proves to be an exciting learning experience for you. Please let me know if you have any questions or concerns. Thank you so much for taking the class.